Okay, guys, we're going to continue our discussion of cotton, cattle, and railroads. This time we're looking at railroads and their impact on Texas. Our three questions we're going to focus on here are what impact did James Hogg have on the railroad industry in Texas? How did the railroads being built in Texas impact farmers and ranchers? And then how did railroads create new jobs in Texas? All right, so let's dive right in. So this is James Hogg. What a last name, huh? It only gets better when you learn that his daughter's actual name was Ima. Yep, he named his daughter Ima Hogg. So yeah, you can Google that too. Um, Bottom line, though, he was the Attorney General for Texas, and as the Attorney General, he sued a lot of the railroad companies and fought for laws that would protect citizens from basically really unfair practices that the railroad was practicing. Basically, they would just price gouge you because there was no other way after the cattle drives ended. You could get your products to market. You could not get your cows to market. If you were a cotton farmer, good luck taking your cotton to the markets in a wagon. You just could not do it enough or fast enough to, make money. So the idea there is that the railroads knew they kind of had a monopoly going on it, and so they were doing a lot of price fixing and things like that that kept prices high and basically just gouged the little guy for most of his profits. So it was really difficult for people to make money, uh, having to use the Texas railroads. So there became the thing called the Texas Railroad Commission. That is still in existence, and that still sets rules and regulations for how the railways are used and charge prices they can charge, and rules and regulations they have for transportation regarding Texas railroads. All right, so now growth due to the railroads. Excuse me. Transportation generally brings growth to an area. For example, railroads allowed cotton and beef to move from Texas to all over the country. That meant more money was going to come into Texas. More money coming into Texas means that more goods and services can be sold to Texans. So that means that new jobs are going to grow up in the state of Texas. Also, that transportation allowed new goods that would typically be in a larger city because they're produced in big factories up north. Those goods could now be produced, or not produced, but available in Texas because they could more easily be brought to Texas. Um, all kinds of machinery, all kinds of manufacturing equipment could now be moved to Texas. Because that manufacturing equipment could be moved to Texas, it could be built someplace else and then moved here, then manufacturing could begin here in Texas. So it's kind of the beginning of Texas changing and becoming more modern. We get to a population growth over time. We go from 1800 to 1850. So this is even before the Civil War. You start to see a huge uptick in population. That growth is only going to continue after the Civil War. It's just going to keep going at this really steep slope where lots and lots of people are moving to Texas more and more and more because of these new developments. So a population rise that's already increasing before the Civil War will only keep going after the Civil War. All right. So that is pretty much it for our video here. Make sure you go back and you look at the questions. What impact did James Hogg have? How did the railroads being built in Texas impact farmers and ranchers? And then how did railroads create new jobs in Texas? And that's mostly found right here. Okay, y'all have a good afternoon. Bye.